Hello everyone! I am Teacher Tony and I welcome you to another video lesson from Casio Education Philippines. For this video, we will explore finding the equation of a quadratic function. To assist us, be reminded of the following buttons that we will use as the session go on. Mode 5. This is to activate the equation mode. There are several ways in which we can find the quadratic equation. Among these are using the discriminant, using the roots, and using at least 3 points on the parabola. This video focuses on the latter. Recalling the general form of the quadratic function, f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, or y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are all real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. To find the equation of the quadratic function, given 3 points on the graph of the function, follow the following suggested steps. 1. Substitute the x and y values to the equation. Doing so, you will come up with 3 linear equations in 3 variables a, b, and c. Solve the systems of equation. And lastly, substitute the values of a, b, and c in f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. To illustrate, let us have our first example. Determine the equation of the quadratic function that contain the points -1 and 6, 0 and 1, and 1 and 0. To solve, let us first use the point -1 and 6. Substituting x equals -1 and y equals 6 to the given equation, we have a times the square of -1 plus b times -1 plus c equals 6, giving us the linear equation a minus b plus c equals 6, which will serve as our first equation. Using this time the point 0 and 1, substituting x equals 0 and y equals 1 to the given equation, we have a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c is equal to 1, which gives us c is equal to 1, which will serve as our second equation. And lastly, using the point 1 and 0, and substituting x equals 1 and y equals 0 to our equation, we have a times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c is equal to 0. Therefore, we have the linear equation a plus b plus c is equal to 0, which will serve as our third equation. Using the 3 equations and inputting all the values of a, b, and c in our calculator, we can now solve for the values of a, b, and c. Doing so, press the following buttons in our calculator. Mode 5 to activate the equation mode, and then choose 2 so that we can have the systems of equation in 3 variables. Inputting the numerical coefficient of the first equation, we have 1 equals, -1 equals, 1 equals, and then 6 equals. This time, input the numerical coefficients of the second equation. We have 0 equals, 0 equals, 1 equals, and 1 equals. In the third equation, we have 1 equals, 1 equals, 1 equals, and 0 equals. After pressing 0, we have x is equal to 2, y equals -3, and z equals 1. Using the values of x, y, and z, we have the required equation is f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. Let us now consider our next example. Find the quadratic function described by the table of values. From the previous example, we only used 3 points. So we need to choose at least 3 points in the given table of values. Doing so, we have at negative 1 and 10, using x equals negative 1 and y equals 10, and substituting it to our equation, we have a times negative 1 squared plus b times negative 1 plus c is equal to 10. Simplifying this, we have the linear equation a minus b plus c equals 10. And this will serve as our first equation. This time, using the point 1 and 4, we have x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 4. And so, we have a times the square of 1 plus b times 1 plus c is equal to 4. Simplifying this, we have the linear equation a plus b plus c is equal to 4. And this will serve as our second equation. This time, using the point 2 and 4, we have a times the square of 2 plus b times 2 plus c is equal to 4. Simplifying this, we will arrive at the linear equation 4a plus 2b plus c is equal to 4. This will serve as our third equation. Using the three equations, we can now solve using the systems of equations. Inputting the numerical coefficients of the three equations in our calculator, we have for the first equation, a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 1, and c is equal to 1, and lastly for the constant term, which is 10. For the second equation, we have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1, c is equal to 1, and for the constant term, which is 4. Lastly, for the third equation, we have a is equal to 4, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to 1. And the constant term is 4. When we press equals, we have x is equal to 1, y equals negative 3, and z equals 6. And so, the required equation will be f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x plus 6. Did you get it? I hope you do. This wraps up our video for today. Thank you for your time and see you again on the next videos. Bye!